record.
And we are live. That was a long Unmasked show, but with Tony and Remy and our boy Hi-Fi Vega, man, it just doesn't get much better than that. This is the Unmasked After Show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I figured, let's just jump right into it. Long show, and it's the Unmasked After Show. So let's just get into the meat and potatoes. I got a few things lined up for you guys. If you got any questions that maybe Kicker has missed, of course you could always email them at social@kicker.com or just hit up your local Bill Frog, you know the guy, and get your questions answered. Kicker Club, or hey, we do a live stream here too. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and man, I am excited, but man, you know, these guys are literally awesome. Awesome guys, and I got to meet Tony for the first time in Slamology. You guys know we saw Remy here live, and we see him on the EXO show at Showtime. And man, the boy Hi-Fi Vega, come on, doesn't get much better than that, man. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. I gotta get Kicker Club going. I have it over here. It's ready. It is ready. And, you know, it's always StreamYard, man. Always got to make something difficult. And, of course, we also do have Instagram over here. I have to hit go live, though. That's a little bit of pain in the butt, but I usually do that during the roll-in, but we didn't do a roll-in, so here we are. Appreciate you guys. Brad, what is going on, Brad? Thank you for being here, man. Awesome battery guy right there. Steven, what is up? How have you been, man? I haven't seen you in forever. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Man, make it rain. This guy, he just loves the song, you know, and I do too, man.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
I can't. Thank you, 25, for being here, and appreciate all you do behind the scenes. Appreciate all you guys. Stuart, what is up? I'm glad you're here, man. I forgot the exact question that you wanted to, you know, go deeper in, you know, and that's the thing with, like, live streams and talking about subjects. And that's why I love doing the one-on-one stuff. I know it's a show, but, you know, some of our shows, we are here to do the Q&A and to go down that rabbit hole. And, hey, I'm here. Appreciate that you're here, and we'll get the show going. Garrick, what is up? Would you look at that? You just gotta look at it, Garrick. That's all you can do. And yes, our boy Vega probably rolling with John and Bill Frog over to the bar now. You know, those guys, I mean, they do like to party, but after a Unmasked show, those guys are whipped. They're working 9 to 5s there. They're working overtime to be on the Unmasked show. So it has to be a special occasion, which tonight I think probably was. And Vega being in town at Stillwater, and he brought his wife along. An awesome place to be. You know, even if you're not even a car audio guy, Stillwater is beautiful. It really, really is. What's going on, Elias? Thank you for being here. What is up, Kicker fam? We are here. We are live. We are direct. The Bullfrog is great sounding. 25, it is awesome. The 100, I think I have it over here. Yeah, there she is. I love it because it's tiny, it's convenient, and it's got sound 360, man. You can put it anywhere in your house. You're going to hear it all over the place. Appreciate you, man. SDK. He just said, would you look at that?
Well,
would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
Hi, your friendly battery yeeter is here to tell you to hit the like. This is my only super chat of the night, so y'all are on the call for the rain alerts. Well, 25 was calling for rain, and we got some rain and a few pennies along the way, and we know that the fries are done. You know the deal. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you, man. And yes, this guy did save that guy's car from catching on fire at Slamology. Forgot to throw that in there. Thank you, Jake. Not sure why the comments are coming up on YouTube, man. I do not know. I do not know. Thank you for being here, dude. Appreciate you. Who is that? That is Jason Ward. What's up, dude? Appreciate you. Casey Sims, Joseph Keenan. Yo, what is up? Thank you guys for being here. A little late on the alert there, but hey, Streamlabs, love you, man. He's a great companion for these shows. Stuart donated a $1.99 super chat, and he's just throwing the pennies. Thank you, Stuart. Let the pennies rain in. Thank you, man. Appreciate that you're here, and it means so much. You support the channel. I know you guys are, a lot of you are all watching the car audio YouTubers, and I feel like podcasting in general is becoming a bigger and bigger and bigger thing, and I love listening to them all, and I know you guys do too. Appreciate you, Stuart. Thank you for being here, and man, you guys are just making it rain early. Per the weather, man. Rain has been called for. Hit the like to show your support. Thank you, Bob.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
Thank you so much, man. And yes, hit the like before you leave. And you know, YouTube's algorithm, man, that's a thing. But hey, the likes, they always work. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting to the channel. Oh, and by the way, if you guys are Patreons, I think I got most of you, at least 14 or so. We got like 20 Patreons. So if you're a Patreon, please send me your address if you would like a Christmas gift. They're going out tomorrow morning. Throwing out the pennies. Fries for the win. Budget Audio with Jay. What is up? This guy is a hustler with the content, SPL videos, power testing, you know, and it's just daily. This guy is insane. Keep it up, dude. Appreciate that you're here and tuning in, and you guys are awesome. Yeah, I need an oversized banner too, SDK. For SDK, I do need that. I need one. I need one. I love the kicker banners and all, but you know, I got enough of them. All right, cool. Larry Keller has become a member. Thank you, Larry Keller. Oh, you know what? It's because Baba gifted 20 memberships. What?
I don't care what you say about kickers. This guy is a difference maker.
Thank you, Bubba, and gifting the memberships out. You guys are awesome, and I think I got it working now, or at least I did. I don't know. Always working on something on this darn computer with the live streams and stuff. I do see it later for each person that gets the memberships. It really pushes the channel. Thank you, Bubba. Appreciate you, man. And look, those are the members that he added. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Guys are nuts. All right, cool. What I wanted to go over a few things with, obviously, it's the Unmasked after show and the L7X coming out and batteries. And there's a lot of things to go on about, you know, what is going on. The past like 3 days have been insane for me. I did not have to work Sunday or Monday, which is great, but I did a little bit of gaming. Let's just say that. And that's why I don't game, but it was fun. It was a nice relax and disconnect from the car audio world for a minute, which I never do. And regardless, I'm here. The show's going on. A lot has been happening in the world of car audio, and we're going to talk about it. And tonight's show was awesome, guys, man. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Kicker, give him a like. Unmasked Show, Ernie, the whole team, thank you guys for doing what you do, and appreciate that everybody is here tonight. All right, cool. Now, let's go over the things that I had here. I'm going to pull up on the screen. Of course, I'm going to be like John here. Go check out Kicker Club. 35.5 thousand members. He ain't lying. He is not lying. If you're not in Kicker Club, you're sleeping under a rock. You know what? And we got a link for that. Boom! Shaka-laka, laka, laka, laka. Did you ever play NBA games back in the day, man? Those things were awesome. They were the best. They're pretty good now, but not as good. All right, cool. So, yes, that was the... Yes, let's talk about Solo X, okay? Just because. The Solo X is available pretty much everywhere now. They just released that they came out with the 15 yesterday. Day before, was it? Yeah, it was yesterday. Feels like 2 days ago. It's been a lot going on. L7X 15 is now available. The 10 and the 12 are available on kicker.com. So if you got one of those 50% off discount codes, you'll love kicker.com. Go pick one up there. Shipping is great. Now, the 15, okay, they do got it everywhere. I checked this yesterday. It was not on the website, but now you guys can go and pick it up at kicker.com. And there's other places you can get them now online too, which is amazing. Showtime, link in bio, description below. Go check them out. Affiliate. Appreciate you guys. And I'm just happy that they are available online, just for the simple fact, you know, what we do here, this whole community is all online, you know, and there are local stereo shops. My area, not so much, and maybe yours, maybe more so than not. So it's just cool that they're giving you that option, and you know, with the map pricing and how they deal with business and dealers, they keep it like an F1 race. They really do. All the stock cars are the same, and it comes down to the driver. And hey, whichever way you can get it is the way you can. And man, you guys are awesome. Cornut gifted 1 Livin Loud with Andy membership. Thank you, Cornut.
Would you look at that?
Now we need for Cornut. There we go. There we go. There we go. The caboose. Thank you guys for the memberships, the donations, the support of the channel, for being here, always commenting like Basshead30. What is up? Thank you for being here, dude. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Very soon I'll become a member. It's all right, Garrick. I know Bubba's just throwing them out there. You might just catch one. Just keep your hands open like this. You might catch a membership from Bubba and the gang from gifting them. Appreciate you guys. Love you, Mom. Good night. Thank you for being here. Let's see that L7X 15. You know, I had to pick up the big phone today. I've been having to pick up that phone a lot. Heard he's tired of hearing about me. But yes, I would love an L7X 15, and I'm trying to get either between the Pilot or I dropped it down in the comments on the live stream. No one really said anything, but hey, that's the point. And I do want to do a build with the 15. I do, and yeah, I got some power, and it's like, well, what do I do? I am working on getting my Volvo fixed, and that is the goal of another base vehicle. So I kind of can, you know, here you go, Kayla, keep the quad box, you'll be good to go. It's a perfect daily, and have something else other than just my Eclipse and then her car as like testers. They're not very big. A Volvo wagon and a 15L7X. Ooh, man. But that's a process, just for the simple fact that I do have to put a new engine in, which I already bought one, just needs put in. And we get it going. Speaking of L7X 15s, Kyle Clippo, thank you for being here, dude. Appreciate you, man. Reppin' Kicker hard. This guy wears a Kicker hoodie more than I do, and that is saying something. I wouldn't say as much, but we're on the same level. Appreciate your dedication, man, and I can't wait to see your build at Slamology and all these other places and online. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate all that you do as a person and for Kicker, dude. Thank you for being here. EA Sports, it's in the game. After they stopped doing that, that's when EA went downhill. Don Williams, thank you for being here. Wait a minute, I know that person. Again, thank you, Cornut. Appreciate you, man. Fire in the rabbit hole. Yes. Cornuts. Yep. All right, cool. V13, what is up, dude? I was just looking at your name when I was typing them in. I was like, would you look at that? And appreciate you being a member. Thank you for being here, dude. You guys are awesome. Night Mama McGill. Oh, Bubba, I think you and my mom would get along quite fine. You guys are awesome. Blake, what is up? Made it back. Thank you for being here. This is the Unmasked After Show. This is what we do. It's like a Friday, but it's not. Tuesday, kicking it with Andy. We dive deep. I can't even talk. Dive deep into subjects. And speaking of which, I didn't let Ernie know. I know they're not going to be live until January, so I will not be doing a kicking with Andy the day after Christmas. I mean, I think we all just need that 1 week break, you know, between Kicker, Car Audio, Livin Loud with Andy, spend some time with your family, regroup. But we will be live that Friday, which is, between New Year's and after Christmas. So it's like that little window of, now what? We'll go live Friday. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate you. You guys are awesome for being here, man. T. Corley, thank you for being here, man. Andy, need to ask a question about last show. Not sure on best way. Drop it down. I will get to it as best as I can with answering it, man. Appreciate that you're here. I'll be looking out for your name. Drop it down below when you can. Cookie Monster needs a new heart. The alternator, I guess you could call it the alt, because that's the heart. The alt, it's pumping the power through. No, I got an Ohio gen in there, but I do want to try a mech man on my next high output alternator endeavors for sure, just because they are affiliated with Kicker, man. And that's kind of where I try to fall into, because I am, a representative of Kicker, and hey, it just makes sense, go with the grain. And hey, excess power, mech man, I mean, yeah. Even back then, with JY, and that's why I clung to them too. But no, nothing for that. Honestly, I was thinking, I could probably put that 15 in that box, but we put a lot of effort in that box, and I did kind of design it in a way so that whenever I do get the 18, it's plop. It's in, it's good to go. The cutout is going to be a little bit smaller, so there will be a tiny bit of modification needed, but that's why we made it as tight as we could so that whenever it does come to it, you won't even be able to tell. But yes, I do want an L7X 15, big time. I wanted the 10s, but I'm like, if I'm going to go the 10s, I'm going to go with 2 10s, and I'm really content with that 12. And in that kind of hatchback vehicle, these subs need pretty big boxes. If you didn't know, any kind of Kicker square just kind of do. Can they work better in a small? Yes, but maybe you're limiting yourself, or that's not what you're trying to go with. And with the Eclipses in their hatchback, they're very, very small. So 2 10s would be pretty tight. But either way, a 15 is still too tight. But I'm thinking bigger, and we'll see. I just think it would be awesome to have the biggest, because obviously the 18 is going to be in a different family, and that's the whole thing with all this stuff. Family, and Kip winked at us so many times back in the day, and I need you guys to hold on to that, because there's stuff coming, man, and they're always working on stuff 4 to 5 years down the road for all their products, which is insane. New Kicker quad box coming soon. No, probably not. I mean, the quad box came out, 2, maybe 3 years ago, give or take. It's fairly new. And honestly, I don't think they've ever made anything that big before. As a pre-packaged, just here you go, enclosure, you're set for 12s. No one else does that, FYI, just as a complete kit. And there's a reason to that too. And could there be something bigger? Yeah, you could, but then it's like, doesn't make sense at pretty much, does it pay for itself? Because there's a lot of times when any company in just in general, they'll sell products so that, other products will sell. And they'll take a loss on that product, but they're making it for some odd reason. And I feel like it's not that they're not making money on the quad box, but it's probably not as, not everybody's buying a quad box every day compared to your, loaded dual enclosure Kicker comps or comp R's or gold letters, and stuff along those lines. So it would have to make sense. But I don't know. You can always make your own quad box, man. You really can. Dave Bradshaw, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are killing it tonight. Got almost 40 up in here, 33 on YouTube, 38 altogether. You guys kick butt. All right. Let's see. You, sir, are Duman, something like that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. Slamology and the like is starting to feel like a dream. One that will never happen. It's been 10 years and I'm not even close. This year is the year to start making things happen. Slamology 24. And that's the thing. It does cost a lot of money to go to these shows, just in general, just driving there, the hotel, the gas, Oh, and then you got to make sure that your system looks pretty good. I mean, you can go there with no system. You can just hang out, and a lot of people do that. But, you know, if you're a bass head, you kind of really, if you can, you want to bring your own setup. You just do. But, yes, it is expensive, and I hope that you make it, man. I really do, and there will always be next year. There really will. But seeing how it's been 10 years, man, I get it. I feel the pain. You know, I want to go to all these shows across the world, man, meet all these kind of people and talk about Kicker, but it has to make financial sense, and I know you feel the same on that. I hope, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. I appreciate that you're here, though, big time. Thank you. You know, I mean, you got a point, though. You got a point, Jake. If Andy goes live at Christmas, a lot of people will watch due to no one wanting to be with the in-laws. I get it. I do. I'm just thinking, you know, it's Christmas, you know, the family stuff, Christmas Eve, you go home Christmas Day, you got kids, they're nuts, it's crazy. You're about to find out, Jake. And then the next day, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to kick back, relax for a minute. So that's what I'm feeling. Thank you, Jake. I mean, it would be good. It would. And I know you guys would tune in, but I do not want to pull you from your families too. And there is always that. It's too close to Christmas. Okay, that's my fault. I was looking at your name when I was going through the Gleam, like how they do the giveaway stuff, and I was like, did I forget to give away the 50% off discount code? Yeah, that's me. I got you after the show, so the guys are going to have to wait a second for the after party. I got to get that done. I've been doing a lot of stuff and lost track of time, to be honest with you. Big time. Got you, Corley. You'll get that tonight. He's like, I want that L7X. Since he just showed me that it's online, he's like, I want it. I want it. And I don't blame him whatsoever. I do not. Let's see. Oh, yes, the discount code for anything at Mechman. I believe so, MechmanAlternators.com. If you use the code KickerPower20, almost $100 off. You know, alternators are pretty expensive, not gonna lie to you, man. And you like he was saying about the isolators, like the cheap ones, you look at, you know, the cheapest with shipping included. Same thing goes for a lot of things in life, and especially tech stuff. And, you know, you get kind of what you pay for. So if you find an alternator on eBay for like $250, you might be taking a chance. And the longevity, the reliability, and the quality control that may or may differ, you know, between a brand that is what they specialize in and they take care of their customers, and the price is a little bit higher, reflecting all of the above. So yeah, the 20%, yeah, it's $100 off, but it is something that when you sound dampen your car, do you want to buy cheap sound dampening and then have to redo all of it, pull out your seats, pull out your carpet, do everything again? No, it's a foundational piece that you don't want to have to pull out again. So do it right the first time, get something with quality. And that's kind of how you really want to go with foundation. When you're building a house, same goes for that. Now, on top of that, that's totally up to you. You can go and buy the cheap speakers, the cheap amplifiers, and hey, you might be able to get away with it. And a lot of people do that. They go that route. It all depends what you're trying to do. And I loved how John brought it up tonight. He's like, literally, what is the best color of a car to a salesman? You know, what is best? And I love that because it doesn't make a difference. Like, best can be best to you. It depends your situation and what you're trying to do. And I thought that was like, okay, John's got Johnisms too, like Kipisms. I love it, man. Those guys kick butt. Uncle Bobby B is back. Thank you for tuning in, Uncle Bobby. I'm going to need a good question from you. I see you asking Kicker and other podcasts good questions. You don't ask me no good questions no more, Bobby. You got to throw me those softballs up once in a while, man. Come on, man. Like, why is Kicker square? Why do they, you know, like, the easy ones? Yeah, I guess 25's a moderator now. I see the wrench. What is the X Max for the L7X 15? I believe it's 35, give or take. I'm not entirely sure. I know the 12 was 33. And if we go here to the manual, which you can find any manual on Kicker, which is great. You know, they do give you one, but half the time you lose them. either way, it does list the X Max for each one here. X Max is, no, 31.25 millimeters. I thought it was a little bit longer, but of course that's X Max, and you know, you can't even really, okay. X Max. What is X Max? I feel like, yes, people can base the performance off of X Max and RMS and cone area and get a number. But the control of the driver, the tonality of the sound, and where it still stays linear and doesn't, I don't know, doesn't go farther than it, you know, physically can, and, you know, past that limit. Now, when they rate those at the X Max, you know, I always see like, oh, 70% BL, da 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 da, and then really it's just, you know, like the coil winding height divided by 2, and like, you know, like a formula, and that's it, from the distance from the top plate. You know, and it's like, oh, so it's just a measurement from there, and it's not really how far it can go and stay linear. And I feel like there's a lot more to go into that. You have to talk to a speaker designer, but still, you know, even looking at the X Mech, which is just the furthest mechanical extension. And I feel like with what we do, we're going past X Mech and we're going to X Mech, you know, and that's where, you know, you run into not power compression, but literally like physical clipping. Like the driver can't go any further. So the more power you're adding to the woofer, it's just not making a difference. And if it is, it's so slight. And that's why you do see, you know, whenever you start adding more power, you know, they say you go 3 dBs up every time you double your power. And that's not even true. It's like 2.5 maybe. And you will see that diminish too. You'll go up a dB, a half a dB. Everything is exponential in science and physics, and there's laws. Just learn physics and science. It's really deep, man. I barely know anything about it, but I know enough that it's there, and it's so cool to learn about. But yes, it moves pretty far. Thank you, Basshead. Budget Basshead. Budget Basshead. Yeah. All right, cool. See, Ashy Larry's on Facebook. So is Kibo, Antoine, Kip. This is Kipster. Love you, Kip. Thank you for being here, man. Still need to bring you on for that interview, and I know Bobby won't let me alone about that. You know, God, it's been nuts. I know you know. I know you know more than a lot of people. After the holidays, we're gonna have to get with you. Appreciate that you're here, man. Big time. All right, I'm scrolling through the comments. I just don't want to miss anything here. Scrolling through them, talking about lampshades. What the heck's that mean? Fries. There's CJ. There's CJ, to be fair. Oh, man. I don't know what I'm missing here. Franco316, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Oh, I thought you got the 50% off. All right. Okay. You're supposed to get your email within that week, and then you have a week to respond. But Kicker, they seem pretty lenient. Just check your spam folder, 1, 2, email Bill, and then just give him your email so that he can verify it, like the one you won with. And he'll be able to put the apples together and get you going, man. I know with the emails, they're pretty quick with it. Now, actually getting the prize, there can be delays, just like anything. But we haven't seen that in a while. At least I haven't, because I know a lot of you guys be calling me. Hey, where's my prize at? I'm like, listen, I don't know. Bill, Sandy, what's going on? Thank you, Stu, for tuning in, man. Appreciate that you are here tonight with us. Stewie Wooey. That's the name. You know the name. Let's see. All right, he's talking to Jeff Wallace. You know, I believe you on that one. A87605 is color code Pantone. You know, that probably is the best color. It probably is. Thank you for being here, Jester. Yeah, that is... Wait. Is that one way or two way? Let me think. I know a lot of manufacturers, they will list their X Max and they'll put a number, but that's actually 2 ways. That's one way, I believe. So, you know, 31 millimeters, what is that? Like a foot? or foot, an inch. God, a foot. Yeah, we got something bigger than the sundown coming. It goes a foot each way. You know, this thing is just kicking you, literally. It's a kicker. No, an inch up and down, and a little bit more or less, regardless. And that's. You can go further. Trust me, you can go further. Still makes noise, but I feel like, you know, even then is whenever you look at X Max and how it's rated or listed on any company, and then you put it on the Clipple and you find out the amount of excursion it has at the amount of BL, which is just, you know, pretty much the motor force and how the coil's working with the motor, making sound, and without, you know, jumping so far out of the gap where it's less than 30% out of the gap, give or take. Different places rate them different. You really got to talk to, and that's the thing, man, because these guys that design speakers, they're not easily accessible. Like, whenever I go and try to talk to Aaron Surratt, I'm like, hey, I need input. And I know I need to read more of the book Bill sent me, but even with that, it's still like, you know, to get that one-on-one, like how you guys get when you guys tune into these live shows or where have you in person, it is a little bit different. And but still, it's a lot to learn with this stuff, but a lot of it you don't have to worry about. You know, the more I dig into it, I'm like, whoa, there is a lot with car audio, and it's like this little subject, you know, and it's just, you can go really deep. But we try to stay above the surface, tread our water, look down, say, would you look at that, and know how we got here, and that's about it. Appreciate you guys. We got 44 altogether, 39, 41 on YouTube. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Killing it. Jay Curry, which website for the discount? Discount double check. I don't know. I mean, you could use my affiliate link. No discount, though. We keep things equal. You have to, man. You have to. My email was in my junk folder. I had 2 days to reply. So please, guys, check your junk folder for your giveaway winnings from Kicker. It should be from social at Kicker. That's where I believe Bill emails you guys at. It could be his own personal or vice versa, another email. I know he's got a few emails. He's got a lot of jobs at Kicker. He really does. Everywhere, man. Everywhere. Uncle Bobby B. He's going everywhere. You know, and that's the thing. It's just to bring more people to YouTube. You know, I got 43 on the top, 41 down below, and that's where it's supposed to be. You went there to say hi to Kip. Same. That's what I was like. Yeah, a foot one way. Now that would be a woofer. Lots of bass. Sean Z, thank you for being here. Appreciate you tuning in, and you guys are awesome. You guys really are. You know, and I feel like that's the problem with trying to make a woofer go very far and still be linear, still be accurate, and, you know, and to work in an enclosure, you know, just the whole everything about it. And I feel like that's what, it's not that Kicker couldn't do it. I mean, the square corners are always a challenge compared to a round woofer in some ways, and maybe other ways not as much, but still, nonetheless. And then to make a driver that reflects Kicker in the way that Kicker designs all of their products, especially their subwoofers. Their amplifiers, they didn't start making those until about 10 years plus or so into the company's, you know, original start date. Give or take, or just selling, you know, they sold the gold letters back in the day. They sold these guys, you know, for years. And then they started selling them as, you know, separates. They used to sell it as a complete kit. You know, you just buy the sub and box. That was it. And then they started selling them separately. And then they started selling amplifiers. But for subwoofers, that's where most, I wouldn't say that, you know, oh, they love doing this product more, but that's where they are. You know, that's where they started, was making speakers. And, you know, to make something that moves as far as people want them to move, to work in different applications, to move hair, to play lower, whatever the situation is, and to still make it a kicker woofer has got to be the hardest thing in the world, because these subs, I don't care what kind of kicker you get, they're really balanced, man. They work in a lot of applications. Some lean a lot further to sealed, to ported, to big box, to small box, to no box. And it all depends its application, and that's why they give you diversity and vice versa, what you're trying to buy, and give you a selection. But still, to make something like that move that far and do it right is very hard. And a foot would be near impossible. Thank you, Sean. All right, cool. Let's see. Oh, good question. How many amps does a 2400.1 draw? Cracker, thank you for being here. You know, it depends the load. Where I do need to actually DC clamp that. I did do the CX1800s, but if you're talking, okay, what's the most it could do? You're talking 550 amps, give or take. But that's the thing, you know, and if you're wired down, is it still going to do that? Vice versa, probably not. A lot of my systems, I got them wired really far down, so I'm getting like the rated power at their lowest impedance all the time, which most people are just never going to do, because it's honestly not the best way to do it and make your equipment last for a very long time. I'm probably doing a little bit of damage, but it's good stuff. And, you know, I'm just learning, as you guys are, with, you know, pushing the limits to know how far to go next time or how far not to go. And that's kind of, you know, what we do here is learn, we experiment, and we have fun along the way. Thank you, Cornette. Appreciate you, man. So if you got the KXA 2400 wired at 1 ohm, which is a nominal, you know, loading, that's where you're supposed to run it, and it's an any ohm, so any ohm, so it's going to do 2400 at 1, 2400 at 2, but really it does about 35 at 1 and 24 at 2, but there are still limiters built into that amplifier, so that whenever you do pull more current across the rails, that it's going to shut off, or however amplifiers work in that aspect. But the amperage side, when you're, you know, AC testing it, not the voltage side. So, and that's a whole nother topic of how those work. But to keep it simple, how much does it draw? If you're looking at it with efficiency, 2400 watts, we'll say 3500. Say that you get all the power out of this amplifier. The worst case is probably 450 amps to 500, like I was saying earlier, because of efficiency loss, especially being wired at 1 or lower. But you're not going to be seeing that kind of power out of it. You're going to be wired at 1, seeing about 1800 to 2500 watts out of this amplifier. Excuse me. So 1800 watts, and your voltage is pretty steady, and that's the thing. That amplifier, it'll still give you the same wattage with lower voltage, and it pulls the current. So that's the problem with this answer, because this amplifier will do almost the same power at like 14.5 as it does at like 12.8. And what it does, I don't know how it does it, but what it does is it just pulls more current from the wire, which inducing is lowering your voltage even further, but gives you that power that you are demanding, and that's what we're always wanting when we turn up the volume. So, how much power? It depends. It really does. If your voltage is perfect, you're going to be pulling less current. But in all honesty, I'm going to say 250 amps to 300, maybe more. And that amplifier is pretty darn strong. You know, it needs some power. It can run on barely anything and do okay, but you don't want to do that with any of your equipment, and it'll work great. Appreciate you. Come on, Baba. 3.5 peak to peak. I mean, probably mechanical limit. I could see it. I could definitely see it. Ebo. Nick Rose trying to become a member, but it won't let me. You have to do it. I mean, I do have a link. It should be in the description here to join the YouTube channel. But I believe that you might also have to do it on desktop. So if you ever have issues with trying to join as a member and you're on your phone, you don't want to get on your computer, all you have to do is pull up your phone and iPhone. I believe Android would have it too. And there's a way to request for a desktop layout on your browser. And that's the way to do it. And I do that with a lot of stuff. It's pretty cool, you know, because not all the times I want to jump up here and, you know, get on my computer. But I appreciate you. We'll get you going, and I know these guys will get you straight as well. Mr. Litzy, Kip, he's here. Love you, man. Kipalicious. Wish I had the Kip track on me right now. I would definitely play it. Thank you, Cornut, for the gifted member. Appreciate you, man. Choo choo. That's a lot, Blake B. 400 amps. I mean, yeah, you could see it. You could definitely see it out of that amplifier. Everyone's saying, would you look at that? Would you just look at that? It's Kip. Let's see. I guess those 2400s probably draw 300 amps, 300 tops. I'm sure they're probably quite efficient. Probably 90% they put out around 3K. You might be able to get 35 at 0.67. I know Derek did an amp dyno video, did 3400 plus at 1 ohm. And I don't know about dynamic and stuff. I think it was like 45. But you don't really want to look at that kind of stuff, especially with that amplifier and how it's designed with the anti-load of what they call it. It's going to have a lot of dynamics. It really is. But it's just, you know, the way they design it is just so that it works. And then you can wire it a little bit lower and it'll be happy. And that's the point of being, you know, it was a 2 ohm amplifier at one point, the KX 2400. Then the KXA, which is the 1 ohm version. And, you know, yeah. Do I run mine in half? Yeah. But you know, does it get really hot? Yeah. Does it make it less efficient? And then I pull even more current for the amount of power that I'm displacing in a ratio of dividing, you know, comparing the two. My efficiency just drops because I'm wiring lower. Amplifiers are just inherently less efficient. Lower you go down the impedance curve, and just, you know, all that fun stuff. But simply put, you know, yeah, is it worth it? Kinda. If that's all you got and you want to get more power, sure. What do I say? Get a bigger amplifier. That's what you do. I gotta go with Elf. You know, I remember when that came out. You know, the Christmas Story's great and all, but you know, I don't know. I mean, you might shoot your eye out too. I don't know. Let's see here. All right, cool. I did want to bring up a few of their questions that they had last night. I think that's the first one. Yeah, that's the first one. And I just wanted to get kind of, you know, put my own sense into this. That's kind of what I wanted to do. Would I need to use an isolator if I put a second smaller battery in the back, daily driver, and will only listen when the vehicle is running? You know, and I feel like that's just kind of, I know everybody on the show said, no, don't run an isolator, and you can run into cheap ones. And not, I mean, I bought an expensive one, but my car sits and I don't feel like disconnecting stuff. And I just want to get in there and just start it and it run, but I don't daily drive it. And if you daily drive something, you know, of what the difference is of, let's just say, even if the chemistries do not mix, or even if it's an old battery and a new battery, there's still going to be the transfer of electrons to balance out the voltage of the batteries between the two. It just happens. So is it going to be a big difference if you drive it every day or every other day? Probably not. And I feel like the biggest problem of those isolators, other than what they stated, is just, you know, maybe it's not, I don't know. I don't see the issue other than maybe voltage drop and cheap parts, but do they work? Yeah, they absolutely do work. Is it adding maybe a bottleneck in your system? Possibly, it could. But for people that don't want to run, say they want to run some 6S lithium, but they don't want to do a battery delete, but they want to charge it like 14,815, and their AGM works okay up there, then it works. It's fine. And then the 6 series gets charged. The AGM's getting a little hot charge, but not too bad. And then you shut it off, and you don't have to worry about the LTO being drawn down to the AGM up front. And I feel like even then, it's not that big of an issue, especially if it's like a day or two, just because of how batteries transfer power. It's almost the same way as Tony was talking about tonight with how alternators only charge when the batteries are demanding it, whenever the voltage is lower. Whenever you start your car, you will see a high spike of power and voltage. Some cars, that's with your PCM and just everything else, and to just charge the battery to get it up to a certain voltage. But when you're driving the car, unless you have like a clamp meter, you don't see it. But your alternator is really not doing that much work. So, and then whenever you start pulling more than the batteries can, supply, and the voltage of how everything works, it'll slowly start charging those batteries. And like he said, just like a trickle charge to a full-on charge. So, batteries kind of do the same thing. Now, there's a lot more variables involved here, but still, to keep it simple here, they want to balance. And that's really what's happening, is balancing. And whenever you run something that's extremely far off, they're going to balance. And when they balance, is that meeting point okay for that battery to sit at for an extended time? And that's why they say to run the isolator, so that you don't have that balancing. It never balances, because they're up here together, but then what happens is the AGM's going to go down here. It's just going to go down here. And then the LTO or whatever else you have is going to be up here. New battery's going to be up here. And once you shut your car off, they stay there. That's the cool thing about them. Not every application is ideal. You could be taking a risk. I liked the Stinger one that I picked up. Works great. I actually picked up another one. I forget the brand. It's the one that Robot Underground likes. I wanted to try a cheaper one just for the pilot. But next thing you know, I go run the Titan 8 with a 5 series and it works out great. 6 series or not, I don't know. It works great for me, and I got more content down the road to talk about batteries and XS and different series and more testing. Whew. This next 6 months until Slamology is going to be insane. Big time. Gremlins. He likes the Gremlins movie. He says, hello, Uncle Bobby B. I gotta do it for that one.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
He's the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Bobby B, and the Kipster. Yes, Kicker did used to, yes, they partnered with Linear Power for the demo vehicles. And, yeah, yep, that's, I need to know more about Kicker's history. I mean, I got a lot more information than other people did, or just a normal person. But you could definitely just sit there and just hear about the stories, talk about the things that they do. We are the sugar on top of Kicker's history, and I'm just happy to be the little sugar, sprinkle thing, That's it. That's that Andy guy. Yep, he's the sprinkle. I mean, it looks like it too, All right, cool. So that was that question. Excuse me. He's a little wild, but, we try to keep everything. I watch every content creator. Just putting that out there. 1, it's competition, and 2, it's something I enjoy. So, I watch them. Watch them all. Now, I'm not saying, I got the notification bell rang for all, but, if I'm feeling it, they actually got Boss Audio headphones in there. They do, but you're not going to want to know what kind of shape they're in. All right. That was actually the third question. I knew that was off. The other question they had there was, how do you determine the size of batteries and alternators you need for your system? And, I think that... Oh, wrong one. Come on, Ernie. With this one, it's an open-ended question where, what... It really comes down to what load, and with batteries, alternators, and you're first starting out, you really do want to get someone's assistance, because you don't want to waste money on your foundational pieces. Your alternator, yes, but so are your batteries. They really are. Just because, if you cheap out on those, you might run into limitations that you didn't assume, or you have to take other precautions that you didn't know were there. But with battery size and alternators, you want power to be able to make the power. You want the amplifiers to be happy, and the voltage needs to be there for them to be happy. And it's really just that simple. And if you notice that your voltage is dropping, voltage is potential, but it's not even potential voltage. It's really not. But it is there. It's kind of like, you know, whenever you, I don't even know. I love describing electricity with water, and like, you know, having a higher voltage, you need less, you know, whatever current to make the same power. It's like putting your finger over a gardening hose and just, you know, whatever, and it's making it more pressure for, I don't know. There's videos you got to watch with this stuff, but to keep that simple in itself is that you kind of got to experiment. Now you can go with ratings of what battery manufacturers list, but I would just double what they say just so that you have enough. In a lot of those cases where they put big numbers, that's usually just in best case scenarios and maybe not for a very long time. Because I don't know about you, our bass notes do not give up. They are literal just test tones half the time of continuous power, and that's going to wear on a battery a lot quicker than you think. But alternator size, you know, I've always messed with literally getting away with the least as possible, and I wish that I just didn't do that all the time and just, you know, fessed up with the money to buy an alternator, because it makes life a lot easier to just have that supply of current. But then it also taught me about batteries more so, of, you know, what this battery does, how much power I can get out of it, stuff along those lines. So it really does all depend what you're trying to do, the modifications, man. God, you know, to put one alt in is hard enough. To put two in, or three, I mean, they got some awesome little kits, I mean, alternator brackets to mount multiple of them in your car. And that makes it a lot easier. And those guys put a lot of time, research, development to know what works for each car. And there's just not... You know, with alternators, there's a lot of cars, and you got to make them custom for each one to a point. And kudos to them, man, big time. So, what size battery? Man, you know, that is an easy question, but a tough one to explain, big time. I do want to get to that last one there, but I do want to pull up. Oh, wrong camera. There we go. Getting all messed up here. Thank you, Kip. Yes, linear amps were used in the early days. My first boss in tech, he came to Kicker from linear power. I am blessed to have lived so much of the history with the company itself. I know, Kip, I mean, I could pick your brain as well, big time. You know, and to see that fruition is awesome. For you to be here to share that with us is awesome as well. And, you know, everybody starts somewhere, you know. that is awesome. That is awesome. You know, linear power, I've heard of the name. I know it's old school. I know they made good stuff. And man, it's cool that you guys did eventually start making amplifiers. Because I think it was what, Rockford Fosgate? I think those were the guys. They made amplifiers before they made subwoofers. It was kind of swapped. And I know a lot of companies didn't always just come out with both. And eventually now they do, but still, nonetheless. That's awesome, man. Again, I am excited for that interview, and, or not even interview. I mean, it is. It's going to be an interview. Might have to do 2 parts, man. I don't know. We'll see. But we do need to talk about the SX amplifiers. Nick Rose got it. He has become a member.
Would you look at that?
You just got to look at it. He got it. He got it. I told you you'd get it. It's not too tough, but sometimes it could be a little bit easier. I can't even talk. Blah, blah, blah. Come on, Andy. You can make it 3 more minutes. It's because there's no intro. I'm dying. 3.5 extra minutes, man. It makes a difference. Let's see. Oh, no. A Farad capacitor. Man, you know, caps they're good until they're not. And they're good for that instantaneous delivery of juice for just that. And that's it. Not DJ Rusticles. Maybe a burp test tone when you're competing in the lane and it's your first run. Whack it. You'll probably get a little bit more power, with a lot of capacitors. But it's instantaneous. And then do the meters even read it that quick? I've seen the amp dyno test with Steve Mead with between a capacitor, an AGM, and then nothing, or it was like lithium and AGM. Either way, the only difference the capacitor made, and it was a smaller, I think it was a Rockford Fosgate 1 farad, it did make a difference dynamically, and that was it. And I feel like if you do a quick burst, you might be able to get that. I don't know. An actual amp dyno run that is slowly inclining on power, it's dead before you hit 500 watts. I'll tell you that. It's dead. There's nothing else. Mike DePooley! Wubba dubba dubba dubba. Where is Dubby? We don't got no Dubby bucks, but we're going to throw it up anyway because I like Dubby bucks. Thank you, Mike DePoli. Appreciate you tuning in. And man, you guys are gonna hear about something pretty cool. I'm not gonna release it now, but it has to do with Mike. Mike is making it rain. He is making it rain. There we go. There we go. Let's see if you guys had any other questions. Let me know. Kip, I had a funny story about the first time I met Lloyd Ivy. Why does that sound familiar? I will save it if I can get Andy to drag me on the show sometime. We'll have to do it, Kip, either recorded or, hey, maybe live. Who knows? Either way, we need to hear your stories. Lloyd Ivy, that sounds familiar. Why do I know that name? I know that name for some reason. Really do. It's ringing a bell. Oh, I love these questions. I love them. 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 Okay. So, are the new Solo subs as good as the old Square Solo X from the early 2000s? Two different animals. They're in the same category, but they're just designed in two entirely different, I would say, eras. You know, it's 20-year difference between the two. The amount of information that was available then, the amount of technology then compared to now, and experience with just designing as many speakers and the stuff that they do on the daily and building the team bigger and bigger and doing everything, you know, better as they do, things change a little bit. And are they as good as the old Solo X's? Now, if you're going to compare it as, okay, which one is more efficient and louder on less power? The old Solo X. You didn't think I'd say that, did you? It's the truth. It's better on low power, probably in a pretty good situation for itself of whatever you're trying to do. And that's kind of the point. But then you go look at the L7X and the amount of more potential that is available, the amount of more power handling that is available, the amount of excursion, the amount of just everything that is just more, you know, and there are trade-offs with that. Efficiency, you know, just watt for watt. And is that watt for watt comparable at 34 hertz and 54? You know, like they're different. You know, I don't know if the L7X would do as well in the 50-60 hertz range, watt for watt, as the old school Solo X. And, you know, that's really what it was designed to do. You know, it's supposed to be a burp sub, the Solo X, but it just happened to turn out to be really musical, you know, by accident. But still, yeah, is it as good? I would say it's better, and it's going to be different. And that's coming from a guy that's ran the Solo X18 for years, for like literally as long as I've loved Kicker, I've had that 18, okay? It just kind of sparked a flame. No, like literally sparked a flame. Like, this thing is awesome. And then I heard that 12-inch L7X. You know, like the meter, yeah, I'm louder on the old Solo X, and, you know, and I've had it in like 4 different enclosures. And like the old Solo X like sounded just like subwoofers, and this L7X has a little bit of a different sound. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And hey, it might even be my car that has no sound dampening in the box that's not mounted down. But I'm like, damn, the output that this little 12 has is stupid. It's stupid. It is stupid. And that's what they are designing and making for you guys, which is just an efficient, like, high excursion driver. Like, you just don't hear those two just go together. That just doesn't happen. You know, you have high excursion driver or efficient, and somehow they kind of built something that does a little bit of both of everything, and it's literally amazing. So you can always get your old Solo X's, man, but honestly, once I get that new 18, I'm gonna be like just full tilt boogie on that Warhorse 10K, and probably try the new Warhorses as well on it. Either way, and not have to worry about it compared to my old Solo X that's just a regular coil, not a high temp coil that's made in 2023. So there's a big difference between the two, man. Ashy Larry with a $20 super chat. Would you look at that?
I don't care what you say about kickers. This guy is a difference maker.
Thank you, Ashy. Andy, you know I refuse to give YouTube money, but Merry Christmas, bro. We love you. Merry Christmas to you too as well, Ashy. Appreciate you being here, man, and, you know, just chatting. I'm sorry. I'm always busy. I try to communicate with you guys. The past literal 2-3 days have been stupid, and I'm a little behind, and that's why I don't play video games. That's why I don't play video games. But we got an Xbox, and, yeah, Starfield. God, it's amazing. Thank you, Ashy, and Merry Christmas to you, man. Appreciate you. Don't make me choose, Bobby. Do not make me choose. Do not make me choose. I say yes. Okay. MTX was Lloyd's baby. Okay, that's why, because he added me on Facebook not that long ago. That's why. And I'm like, look at that. That's the owner of MTX, and he liked one of my posts not that long ago. It was like a month ago. And I was showing Kayla, the owner of MTX, or at least the one that owns it now. I think that's him. I think that's him. Oh, man. I knew that name. Here, I'm going to have to look it up now. Let me see. Hold on. I'm looking it up. Oh, we're getting lost in the comments here. That's recoil. We don't want recoil. Yeah, first boss. Yeah, linear power. So he used to run linear power. That's crazy. Or at least it was MTX. Hold on, scrolling down here. Ray. Lloyd. No, hold on. Jonathan Ivy. That's how I know him. So, are they related? They must be related. Jonathan Ivy. Must be his son. Or something. Then. That's crazy. I knew the name. Purchase viewer 69 words of the POTUS. By the way, the same stable Jesus said the biggest problem is we had in the Revolutionary War as we didn't have enough airports. You know, if you don't think about it, this totally makes sense. Thank you, purchase viewer 69.
Well, would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it.
Just look at it. That's all you can do. I can't. Speaking of which, William, we missed you, man. Well, would you look at that? Would you just look at that? It's Livin Loud with Andy, kicking it, Kicker Unmasked after show. Just look at it. You see that right there? You're a rock star, always. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you, William, man. I miss you, man. I really did. You know, like in the beginning of the show, it's like, I'm like, there's Will. You know, Will NGA Technology. Yeah. Will. I love it. Appreciate you for being here and always supporting the channel, man. You're awesome. You guys are awesome. Okay, scrolling down. Hey, Ashley, blessed, is MTX or Memphis even around anymore? I never hear anything about them. Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, and I feel like the internet has really nerfed a lot of the name brands per se, Kicker, JBL, Infinity, Alpine, Rockford, you know, all of them, Memphis, MTX, just the whole nine. I would say, I mean, Memphis has been around for a while too. They are around. They are. It's just, you know, you got to hang around your local stereo shops. I know a lot of my stereo shops would sell, especially even MTX, but Memphis too. MTX, man, I see those a lot. You know, usually the cheap entry enclosure that's loaded and comes with an amplifier for like $250. I mean, that is an ultimate budget system. Cutting a little bit of corners. I know about $250 builds. Definitely cutting a few, but they do make good stuff, man. They do. And I mean, they do make an L7. It's square. So there is that. There is that. I don't know where they got that idea from, Kip. I don't know. But they had to make the corners different. They're a little bit different. Oh, come on, Sean. He's trying to get me. He's trying to get me. Kipalicious. I know. Well, I'll be waiting for that phone to be ringing. If more car audio lives or any lives were on at this time, I could probably catch more of them. You know, and I feel like I stream late. Like, it is 11:46 p.m. for me. This is late. It's a late live, extra late on Tuesdays for the after show. But, right, you know, even if you live in, like, the Pacific area, which is 3 hours behind me, it's not that late of a show. It's, you know, 8 o'clock. And, you know, that's the thing. I don't mind it because I met a lot of you guys from all across the country. And you guys are like just finishing up dinner. Hey, Andy's live, you know. And meanwhile, it's 10 o'clock for me, 7 for you, which is just awesome. And there are a few. I know Bass Dad, he goes on for like 3 hours after I do. Starts a half an hour before me too. But still, you know, there are a lot to do go late, but not as late as this, I don't think. Most of them are like 9 o'clock starting or 10. Usually 8. Usually 8. Which is, you know, that sucks, but it is what it is. I support Ashy's statement. I sense a project in the future for some amps you helped get, Ashy. Oh, snap. Yes. 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 I've been dying to do those SX amplifiers, man. We got 4 of them. 2 of them are like my daily just for the studio. And then the other 2 are even bigger. And the whole SX amplifier line and having the guy that was, you know, even behind the scenes of, you know, just the zeros and ones of the amplifier, because it is digital in 2003. The whole 9 behind it, which is awesome to have him be the guy to talk about him, man. I can't wait. And we got him here. Kip says, one of my favorite subwoofers back in the day was the MTX Blue Thunder. I've heard of that one. I've heard of that one. I'm trying to think. I don't think I ever had MTX. No, I have never had MTX in my life. I've heard so many of them. I've never heard a jackhammer. Always wanted one, you know, just like the Solo X18. It was like their, you know, trailblazer of a driver, you know, like, would you look at that? It's 22 inches or 24. They have 2 of them. Pit My Ride. I blame Pit My Ride. But yeah, I've definitely heard of the Blue Thunders. They really do. They really do. 25's like, I like the Blue Thunder. Excuse me. Oh, here we go. I also have a story about square woofers and Lloyd Ivy. I'll save it for you, Andy. It wasn't the first time I'm at Lloyd, though. I can't. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. I know, I can't wait, man, to just have you on here on the channel. I mean, yeah, we did, you know, the Kicker Unmasked stuff, but like to actually have you here on my show, on my channel, through video, vice versa, whichever way we do it. It's going to be awesome, and I'm honored. Love you, buddy. Now we got Face Kicker here. He's always late. He wants the show to be even later. Later the better for me. I can never get out of my shop in time, you know, and I'm sorry. I should just bump it back an hour and everyone would really hate me, because then I'd never wake up in the morning. I'm already, you know, because it's like after these shows, you know, it's hard to wind down. Plus, we have the after party, which don't have none. But still, I get stuff done around the house. And if I'm not live, I'm at work until like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then I try to go to bed by 3 or 4. I could go later. I could, but I'm not going to. I could probably do it for 2 hours too, but we're already past our mark, and I'm like skipping like a rock at the end of the, you know what I mean? Like I'm out. I'm out. I got enough to get me there, but I'm out. The green team. I know I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Man, you guys are awesome. We had like 38 here this entire time just hanging out with us. The Unmasked After Show has been awesome. Appreciate you guys. He said, yeah, dude. I know, and it's like I do rewatch lives after, and it's, you know, whenever it's a show that's real interactive, like you kind of got to be there thing. It's not as good after, but like some lives where they're just having a conversation, then you can rewatch, or you're really not missing too much, and it's really just a video. But still, I'm sorry, man. I'm glad you're here, though. I'm about to end it. Same thing with Drew. Come on, guys. You know we do this live, and I know it's weird because Tuesday, it's like later than any other day because it's after the Unmasked show. And I usually started at 10:30 anyway, but, you know, close enough. They ran it 90 minutes-ish. You know the deal. And, hey, that's what we do. And I do want to keep it shorter, but it never happens. I'm like, we'll keep it a half an hour tonight. And then it's just like, boom, 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 question and super chat. And like, oh, man, what's going on? Like, you just get lost in these shows, man. And it's an honor to be able to do them with you guys and be here. Hit the like before you leave, guys, please. I think we got 36 likes, 40 viewers. You guys are awesome. Go check out Kicker Club. I already dropped it down below in the link below already. And I should have pinned that, but I'm not on everything. Go check out Showtime Electronics. Get your Mechman alternators that they were just talking about. And yeah, you can just click the link down below where you can buy Kicker. Yeah, it takes you to this website. And get your Solo X's and L7X's and 15s. And if not, just go to kicker.com and pick them up. It's awesome stuff, and I'm happy that they're making it available for you. And man, you guys have been awesome. And yeah, well, we'll have a show Friday. I will see you guys Friday. And Tuesday, no Kicking with Andy, but I'll tell you guys ahead of time then Friday, just to let you know. Either way, I will see you guys Friday. This has been awesome, and this was the Unmasked After Show. Again, congratulations to all the winners that won on the show tonight. Not here, Kicker, you know the deal. But either way, congratulations, and Tony and Remy and Vega and John and Ernie and just everybody, Bill, Frog, and J-Dub, I'm sure, and Steve behind the camera. You guys did awesome tonight. I love you guys, and as always, stay living loud. I'll see you guys on the next one. And cut! Disclaimer. Don't believe what I say. Take it as you will and do your own information research and all that fun stuff. And I'm going to let you guys figure out. So far, we got Cornut coming in with the caboose. We got Cornut. But CJ comes in second with an excess power, plus MechMan alts and flaming deals. And Bubba goes boom, but no Roger. He takes it. He wants the caboose. I love you guys, and I will see you on the after party and on Friday. Love you.